Some people come into your life just to hurt you, then leave as if they were never there. It may sound harsh, but it's a painful truth most of us have to learn to accept. Some people walk into our lives suddenly and brilliantly, like a ray of sunshine after long, heavy rain. They make you feel seen, heard, and for the first time in a long while, you feel like someone genuinely wants to stay. They bring hope, trust, and sometimes dreams you never dared to imagine. Slowly, you let your guard down. You believe they're different, an exception among the fleeting faces. You begin to picture a future with them, not because you're weak, but because you believe in their presence with all your heart. But then, one day, they go silent. They withdraw from your life as if they were never part of it, not with a clear goodbye, but through half-hearted replies, shifting glances, and a growing distance you can't close. You're left alone with hundreds of unanswered questions. You replay every message, every glance, every time they said, "Being with you is all I want." And then you wonder, did I do something wrong? Was I not enough to make them stay? But no, you were only wrong about one thing. You believe someone who was born to leave would choose to stay. But strangely enough, it's often the ones who leave that help us grow the most. They don't just leave behind wounds. They leave behind new ways of seeing people, new ways of loving, and most importantly, new ways of loving ourselves. When you're calm enough to look back, you'll start to see more clearly. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people show up just to awaken you. Some are lessons, not lifelines. And some are like a sad song, beautiful, but never meant to be replayed. Over time, you learn that you can't love someone so deeply that you forget yourself. You can't put all your trust in someone who came like the wind. You need to step back, observe, and ask, who are they in your life? Someone you can lean on, or just someone who helped you forget your loneliness for a while. From there, you begin to see three types of people more clearly. There are those like leaves, beautiful, delicate, but never around when the wind blows. There are those like branches, strong, offering support for a while, but still capable of breaking. And then there are those like roots, quiet, unseen, and yet the reason you're still standing. Knowing who there doesn't stop the pain, but it softens the expectation. And when expectations soften, the hurt becomes lighter. That's the first step to healing, to see clearly who is what and let go at the right time. People who are like leaves. Some people come into your life like a spring leaf, gentle, fresh, full of life. They make everything feel lighter, your soul more at ease, and the world suddenly seems like a place where beginnings are still possible. They don't make grand promises. They simply show up right when you needed someone to believe in. You welcome them like a tree greeting its first leaf after a long winter. And you think, maybe this time will be different. Maybe this leaf will stay. But just like the rhythm of nature, the leaf falls without warning, without returning. And all you're left with is a bare, trembling branch swaying in the wind. You try to hold on, but every effort only hurts you more. The leaf chose to fall, not because you weren't good enough, but because it was never meant to stay the whole season. That's how people like leaves are. They don't mean to hurt you, but they weren't born to stay. They belong to movement, to the wind, to time, to things beyond your control. Their fragility makes you think they need you. But the truth is, they were only ever going to stay until they found a place more fitting to fly away to. The problem wasn't you. The problem was placing too much hope in something never meant to be certain. You thought if you were kind enough, sincere enough, they would see it. But a leaf doesn't stay because of your goodness. It stays only if the season fits. And when the season changes, it will go. And there's nothing wrong with that if you learn to accept it. When someone like a leaf leaves, it feels like part of your soul drifts away with them. You thought they were special, the one the universe sent to heal your wounds. And when they turned away, you didn't just lose a person, you lost a hope. You remember every look, every word, every moment that once felt like it would last forever. You even miss the little things, the scent they left behind, the song they used to play, the way they said your name. Everything stayed with you because you were sincere. And them, maybe they were just passing through. You'll spend some time blaming yourself, asking why people always come and go, wondering if you're the one who always ends up being left behind. But one day, maybe on an ordinary morning while making coffee, or a quiet afternoon when an old song plays, you'll feel something soften inside you. Because you'll come to understand, not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some are companions, some are teachers, and some are just leaves, meant to color a brief season beautifully and then disappear. What you need isn't to keep them, but to keep yourself once they've gone. People like leaves help you see the true value of what lasts. They teach you not to build foundations on something fleeting. They show you that loving someone doesn't mean you must keep them. It means having the courage to love without losing yourself. And when a leaf falls, the tree doesn't die. The tree simply learns how to stand stronger, waiting for what's truly meant to stay. And from then on, you're no longer afraid of the wind. You begin to feel grateful for those who left, because they made space for those who were meant to remain. People who are like branches. If people like leaves hurt you by leaving too soon, then people like branches leave you stunned, because you truly believe they would stay forever. People like branches don't just pass through. They don't disappear after a few gentle days. They stay long enough for you to call it familiar. They're there through your hard seasons, listening when you're in pain, lifting you when you fall, and sometimes they're the only reason you manage to keep going. You begin to trust. You start including their name in your future plans. You start thinking, this one won't leave me like the others. And then one day, you turn around, and they're no longer there. Not because they fell away like a leaf, but because they broke when the wind got too strong. When your life shook hard enough, they couldn't hold on. Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were worn thin. Or maybe they simply didn't have enough roots to anchor themselves when everything around you collapsed. You feel betrayed, not because they did something wrong, but because you thought they were different. They were once your support, the one who promised to stay, unlike the rest. And when they left, the pain wasn't just losing someone familiar. It was losing your faith in what you thought was solid. People like branches don't come into your life to hurt you. They once meant every word. They once stayed, held on, supported. But what you must understand is this. Not everyone who stays for a long time has the strength to stay forever. Their breaking reminds you, never build your whole world around someone else, no matter how kind they are, no matter how much they love you, because everyone has a breaking point, and sometimes they have to walk away just to protect whatever part of themselves is still standing. After someone like a branch leaves, you stop believing in permanence so easily. You look at the people still around you and wonder, will they break too? This kind of loss doesn't scream. It lingers, quietly hollow and long-lasting. You start pulling back. You stop sharing so much about yourself. You don't open up too soon anymore. You keep a safe distance, not because you're cold, but because you're afraid of watching someone so close suddenly become a stranger. And then one windy afternoon as you sit in silence, it hits you. The branch didn't betray you. They simply walked as far as they could go. They once tried to hold you up, caught you when no one else did, but they didn't have roots, not enough grounding, not enough depth to stay through the storm. People like branches come to teach you the limits of kindness. They show you that even good people, truly good people, can still walk away, not because they didn't care, but because they cared so much they gave until they had nothing left. They remind you, don't blame those who were once your support. Be grateful they were there, even if only for a while, because sometimes someone walking beside you for a few months can help you survive the darkest year of your life. Don't erase their value just because they couldn't go the whole way. And most importantly, they teach you this. To truly stand strong, you must have roots. And no one can be your roots, except you. After someone like a branch, you begin to stand on your own. no longer depending, no longer straining to believe that someone will always hold you up. You begin to build your strength from within, and only then can you truly recognize who has roots and who doesn't. People who are like roots. They don't enter your life with noise. They don't speak in poetry or make grand promises. They arrive quietly, like a soft breeze at the start of winter, like a warm blanket gently placed on your shoulders when you're too tired to ask. They're the ones who don't need you to say a word, but still know exactly when you need to be held. People like roots don't seek attention. They don't need you to be strong. They don't disappear when you become hard to love, hard to understand, or quietly falling apart. They stay not because you're fascinating, not because you're flawless, but simply because you are you, and that's the reason they choose to remain. You may lose direction. You may go through fierce winds and lonely storms. But people like roots are different. They don't live on the surface where everyone can see, but underneath, they're always there, holding you up when everything else has tried to pull you down. Not everyone has roots, and not everyone with roots is willing to intertwine with yours. But when you meet someone like that, you'll know, because they're not here to make you smile for a season. They're here to quietly keep you standing on the days you thought you couldn't go on. People like roots don't say, "I'll never leave." They simply don't leave. They may not show up every day, but they're always there on the days that truly matter. They may never say, "I love you," but when you fall, they're the one who's still there long after everyone else has turned away. For them, staying is an obligation. It's a choice. And because of that, their love is the only kind that doesn't need to be proven, because time has already proven it for them. When you walk through fragile leaves and seen branches snap in the wind, it becomes easy to doubt someone who's like roots, because they don't rush to promise anything. They let you be free. No holding on, no pressure, no making you feel like you need to earn love to deserve it. They let you be full of yourself, with your wounds, your fears, and all the parts of you thought no one had the patience to stay for. And slowly, you begin to realize this is someone who doesn't need you to become better to be loved. They love you even when you're at your most broken, most confused, most unlovable. You may fall apart. They won't put you back together, but they'll sit with you among the pieces until the day you're ready to start picking them up. They won't say, "Be strong." They'll just say, "I'm here." And sometimes, that's all it takes for you to keep breathing. People like roots teach you something vital. Healing isn't about finding someone who pulls you out. It's about finding someone who's willing to sit with you at the bottom without seeing you as a burden. They prove that presence doesn't have to be loud to save a person from collapsing. After enough loss, you learn to recognize them, not through words, but through the quiet safety you feel around them. A safety that doesn't come from them always making you happy, but from knowing you don't have to pretend to be okay just to make them stay. People like roots are rare. Sometimes you'll meet only one in your lifetime, but if you do, hold on to them with respect, not control, with gratitude, not fear of losing, because someone like that doesn't need to be chased. They stay because they believe you're worth it. And when you finally have someone like that, you'll understand that everyone who left before was simply clearing the path for this person to find their way to you. When you've been through enough loss, enough goodbyes, enough times being left behind, you stop asking why people leave. Instead, you begin to observe, to listen, to feel, and slowly, you come to understand people are like trees, each with their own role, each with a reason for entering your life. Some people are like leaves, delicate, beautiful, arriving during the sunny seasons and falling when the weather changes. They bring color to a part of your life, then leave just when you start to believe they might stay forever. They hurt you, but they teach you this. Don't expect a leaf to stay through the storm. Some are like branches, stronger, sturdier. They come and stand beside you through real struggles. You learn to trust them, lean on them, hand over pieces of your heart. But when the true storm hits, they break. Not because they didn't love you, but because they didn't have the depth to hold on longer. They remind you, surface strength doesn't mean deep roots. And then, rarely but beautifully, there are those who are like roots. They're not loud, not flashy, not present every day. But when everything else has gone, when all that was shaken has fallen, they're still there, quietly keeping you from collapsing. They don't love you with words. They love with patience, with presence, with things that can't be named. They teach you what it means to stay, without promises, without show. You don't get to choose who walks into your life, but you do get to choose what you learn from them. Let the leaves remind you not to dream blindly. Let the branches teach you to cherish what isn't forever. And let the roots, those rare, quiet souls, teach you how to honor the unseen and hold close what's truly hard to find. In the end, what matters most isn't who left or who broke. It's who truly touched your soul and left behind something that helped you grow. Because you can't hold on to everyone forever, but you can hold on to the lessons they left behind. The leaf taught you when to let go. The branch taught you how to love without clinging. And the root taught you that real stability doesn't come from fleeting emotions, but from understanding, patience, and unconditional love. Once you understand that, you'll begin to love differently. You'll no longer try to keep people at any cost. You'll stop forcing yourself to be good enough for someone to stay. You'll realize that the one truly meant for you will choose to stay, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You'll even feel grateful for those who walked away, because thanks to them, you learn how to stand on your own. And because of them, you now carry a lighter heart, ready to notice the one who stays silently but faithfully. After everything, maybe you're still searching for someone like roots. Maybe you walk through too many branches, too many leaves. Don't rush. Each person is a note in the song of your life. Leaves bring seasons. Branches offer shade. Roots keep you from falling. No one is wasted. But remember, before anyone can be your root, you must learn to be your own. You must be the first to not abandon yourself when the winds rise. You must be the first to wrap your arms around yourself when no one else does. When your strength comes from within, you'll no longer need to grasp for others to keep you steady. And the right person will stay on their own. Because sometimes, the root you're looking for doesn't come from outside. It's been inside you all along. Life is a journey full of meetings and goodbyes. Not everyone who comes into your life intends to stay, and not everyone who leaves deserves blame. Each person plays a role. Some teach you hope, some teach you pain, and some teach you how to stand on your own. Through the imagery of leaves, branches, and roots, we learn that what matters isn't how tightly we hold on, but recognizing who truly wants to stay. And more importantly, learning to become your own root, strong enough, deep enough, and self-loving enough to remain standing, no matter who walks away. Cherish those who once walked beside you, even if it was only for a season. Learn to let go at the right time, and open your heart to the right ones. And if you're lucky enough to have someone who is like a root, please don't let them go. Who came to mind while watching this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because maybe someone out there needs to hear exactly what you're about to write. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. If something in this video made you pause, made you feel, leave a comment below. It could be a story, a name you're thinking of, or simply, I understand. If this video brought you any value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you won't miss the next healing moments we share. Every interaction you make is a hand reaching out. So peace doesn't end here, but continues on to those who need it most.